Well, hello everybody, and welcome to our next New Earth teachings with Ascended Master Lakeshma. For those who are not familiar with me, my name is Kimberley, and I am joined by lovely Patreon members. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. So those of you who are not familiar with my work, Ascended Master Lakeshma is from Atlantis, and she was there at the time of the first Great Awakening. And there's many parallels to what is occurring now to what happened in the first Great Awakening of Atlantis. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to bringing her through for the last session of the year. So without further ado, I'll go now into trance and bring her through for you. Hello, my dear ones. It is Lakeshma coming through. It is my honor to come through again in this way. Well, my dear children, what expansion follows you? What expansion is you, my dear ones? Now it is the time when you are coming out of the collective shadows, when you are now feeling the truth of who you are, and that is freedom. Freedom is who you truly are. My dear ones, how can you not be free? You are source. You are God creators. You are the co-creators of this reality. Remember this, my dear one. Remember that any shadows that visit you, any dimensions of you that you have not loved, that you have not accepted, is visiting you and has been visiting you this year. And this was a purpose for the collective. You wanted to make up with yourself. You wanted to meet all these aspects of you so you can unite in love with yourself and unite the collective in their oneness journey. Mighty One, you are one in every single way. You are love in every single way, and all others are also expressions of love. You are infinite, and you are source. We understand that for many of you, this year has been challenging, and we understand that you have been faced with a purge. You have been faced with being witness to your shadows, being witness and experiencing programs, dimensions within you that have bubbled up to the surface, that have asked to know you, that have asked to even meet you, my dear one. This is the time of great unity, and this is why you were required to meet these aspects of you, your shadows. But understand that this is for you, and you have done the work. And those of you who are still in the middle of this work, know that this is for you. Know that these are dimensions of you. It is about embracing these dimensions. It is about putting your arm around these aspects of you. Can you love you? Can you love these dimensions of you? And recognizing that they are in fear. Recognizing that they need your love, for they are you. All others are you, my dear one. You are truly remembering that you are love. Understand, my dear one, that any aspect in your reality that reflects fear, that reflects division, that reflects control, that reflects a perceived manipulation by others, a perceived darkness, understand that these are all distortions, that these are all aspects of the human paradigm. These are stories for you to expand through, not about just focusing on the light. Understand that the shadows are also light. Understand that these shadows are you without the absence of love. So love them. Love the shadows. Love the shadows within others. If you want to transmute fear, then love it. I understand that for some of you, it's challenging to accept the fear, that it's challenging to accept dimensions which you've been conditioned to see as unwanted. And in these dimensions, some of you have attached to stories of division, stories of control, stories of manipulation. But my dear ones, understand this is part of your journey. Your journey is not wrong in any way, but understand that as you journey through dimensions of fear, that this is only a temporary journey. That it is a journey of loving yourself completely. And once you can do that, you will see for yourself that these were just shadows, that these were just distorted versions of you that needed your love. Can you give your love to you, to all aspects of you, and all aspects of you reflected in another? Because yes, all others are you, reflections of you, of the one. If you place judgment on others, you are placing judgment on yourself. How can you unite yourself? How can you truly love yourself if you are judging others? Because in that action, you are judging yourself. Do you want to awaken to the truth of who you are, my dear ones? Do you want to remember that you are loved? Do you want to remember that you are free? If you want to remember this for yourself, then you are required to love your journey. You are required to practice unconditional love for all aspects of you and all dimensions of you reflected in your perception of self and in the perception of others. They are all assisting you. They are all playing a role for you to assist you in remembering the love that you are. Are you remembering the love that you are? Do you see the limitlessness of your being, or do you see limitation? Do you see power or powerlessness? You have a choice, my dear ones, on how you play this game. You've always had a choice, for you have free will. But understand it's part of free will. You are a God creator. So you can choose to stay in dimensions of fear. You can choose to play the game from a perspective of victim mentality and control. That is your wish. If you wish to do that, then so be it. But understand that you do not have to experience this. Understand that this is not the truth of your reality. Understand that it's just a paradigm. Understand it's just a layer of a game, an illusion to assist you to remember that it's just part of the game, to assist you to remember that everything is actually happening for you out of love. Because you co-created it all. How can you create your game and then judge your game, my dear one? It's because you have forgotten who you are. It is because you have forgotten that you are the God creators here, that you co-created it all with your brothers and sisters. Because you wanted consciousness expanded. You wanted to expand not only your own unique frequency of source, you wanted to expand the collective because you actively have taken on this role to expand the collective to such a point where you are heralding a new evolution for the human race, the human consciousness. You are changing the very human race in you being here, in you embracing your shadows, by seeing it as an aspect of you that needs love. Can you love all, accept all? It might be easier to do this within yourself, but yet you see others and you may lay judgment and perceive fear and see it as wrong, or see aspects in your society as wrong. Understand that everything is playing a role for you to assist you to remember your light, to assist you to remember your oneness state. Can you start to see the game being played out here, dear ones? It is about detaching from the stories of physical reality. Can you play this game from the observer mode? Are you able to detach? Are you able to stay in the present moment, but also play the observer game here? You are in this game because by being in physical reality, this is where you expand the most. You wanted to be here. You wanted to co-create your reality and also experience your creation. This is how advanced you are, because not all dimensions of you, not all dimensions of beings can experience creation and experience their creation. This is how powerful you are. You wanted to be within physical reality. You knew there'll be distortions here that will allow you to forget your power, but you wanted this. You knew it would not be permanent. You knew that there would be clues here to find your way home to love, to oneness. And this is why you are here. This is why you are listening or watching this today. Because that call from your soul is calling you home. Do you hear it, dear ones? The whole collective is ready to hear this call. Can you feel it? Can you feel the shift occurring in the collective? Can you feel the freedom emanating from your being? Can you feel the love that exists within all things? Love existing within all things, because everything that exists is unconditional love. It is pure source energy, shaped in many different forms, shaped in many versions of you, shaped in many patterns, shaped in many paradigms and dimensions to assist you play the game here, to assist you to witness yourself as a perceived separation of source, only to remember and return home back to oneness remembrance. You are part of the greatest human evolution that has ever been. You are here changing the very fabric of the human paradigm, of the fabric of the human consciousness. The programs that has signified what it means to be a human, programs of amnesia, programs of distorted realities, of illusions that have always been there for you. These layers of the game of physical reality, you are shifting this by you being here. But understand that you are not victims here. Understand that you chose to be here, willingly playing this role with others, co-creating together to expand not only your consciousness, your perceived unique frequency of the one of source, but you are expanding the collective. Dear one, yes, we understand it can be intense at times. The illusion can be strong. This game can be strong, but understand it is a game that expands not only yourself, it expands all that is. It expands source itself. Paradigms of the human race are supposed to catalyze you. For it's this catalyzation that allows you to remember the truth that you are one. But understand that catalyzation does not have to mean fear and suffering. It is how you perceive these events. It's how you perceive your shadows coming into light here. My dear one, understand that all dimensions are you. Why would you reject aspects of you? Why would you not love aspects of you? So go love yourself. If you want to truly love yourself, to feel free, then you are required to love all others, for all others are you. You may not have to agree with others or others' actions, but it's about being in that point of unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, where you release that resistance, where you start to see the truth of who they are, that they are there lovingly for you. Even if they're not conscious of it or not, their higher selves are playing a role with you, with your higher selves, to assist you to remember that you're source, that you are love. My dear one, are you feeling it, dear ones? Are you feeling the shifts here? those of you who's watching or listening to this, participating here today, you are sensitive. And yes, because of your abilities, you may feel these shifts more than others, but understand it is also for you. You are starting to see and sense beyond the veil of physical reality. You are starting to experience your senses on a different level because you can now feel energies. You can now see things beyond the veil of physical reality because you now understand on some level that all is energy and that you are dissolving any limited programs that have been part of the human paradigm. You are transmuting these programs because you are shifting the very nature of the human being. Because right now in this collective, you are on the forefront of changing the human paradigm and all the timelines to come, because you are shifting the very human vessel and what it means to be human. In all the timelines of your history, the human history, there has been cycles of amnesia, cycles of remembrance. You've called this the golden ages, the new earths. But understand that you are heralding a cycle that is destined to never be repeated again. For you have arrived, for you are ready to stay in an enlightened state, in a state of remembering who you are. Because you will no longer have to go through the cycles of the current human paradigm, because you are shifting the human paradigm. You are shifting the human vessel in the evolution journey. So the human being will no longer be just human. It will have its origins come online. It will have your divine and galactic creation be emerged from you. So yes, the human race is forever shifting to align to the shift of consciousness, to align to collective soul contracts. This is why there has never truly been such a great awakening as what is occurring now, because you are not only shifting the consciousness, you are shifting the very physical evolution of human race, of humankind. Of course, you do not see the full picture, but understand that all these shifts are part of this journey. And all the physical symptoms, which you've called Ascension symptoms, are all part of this effect of going through these shifts, of having certain activations being activated within your physical vessel and your ethereal light bodies in your terminology. Everything is shifting in body and in consciousness. Can you feel it? Can you feel the shifts? Are you experiencing the shifts?
Yeah.
In what ways are you experiencing the shifts, D1?
I mean, obviously, physically, the releases that comes, so the fear that comes up stronger. But also that I see things from a different perspective sometimes. Not always, but it comes and goes. Intuition is stronger. Yeah, it's like I'm going back and forth between my old and my new stuff, and that in itself creates some resistance in me, I think.
It's a normal part of the process, D1. You are in a transitional period. And this is why you have these experiences of seeing behind the veil of physical reality. And then at times you jump back in your perception of jumping back to dimensions of amnesia, to dimensions of not remembering who you are. But my D1, you are always moving forward. It's only a perception that you are going backwards. This is a transitional period. It is a normal part of the process to experience freedom, to being able to witness and experience more of who you truly are, but then at times to fall back into the illusion, to feel like you are a victim, to feel that your emotions control you. Understand that this is our process here. And once you can understand that this is a process and that it is a normal part of this process, you may then let go of the resistance in knowing that you are always moving forward. Even though you may experience fear, even though you might experience a perception of going backwards, understand that it's forever expanded upon. Each time now you experience fear, it becomes less intense. You are able to manage the fear more efficiently. Yes, you may feel things more intensely, but that is because you're becoming more sensitized to energy, more sensitized to your gifts, more sensitized to what the truth is. You are always going forward. All of you are. So let go of the resistance to what your journey is looking like. It is perfect. And it's supposed to go this way. It's not about taking a magic pill and all of a sudden you are enlightened and you know your God state. It is one step at a time. It is a transition. This is normal because you are part of the human collective consciousness. You are aligned to certain paradigms in the human collective consciousness. You are, as part of the human collective consciousness, still attached to dimensions of duality, of separation. So because of this, because it's still in the collective, you will still experience dimensions of fear, because fear is part of the dualistic system of humanity. And it's okay. You, as a collective, are transcending these dimensions because you are truly existing now in oneness state. It's just that the collective is attached to duality notions, to stories of duality, stories of separation. And this is why these shifts are occurring, to assist you to remember that you are truly one, dear one. So be compassionate with yourself. And if frustration arises, then love that, accept that. This is a dimension of you. Can you love that dimension of you? Can you hug that dimension of you? Can you see that dimension as a boy wanting love? Can you hug him? He is you. These are all aspects of you. They are not wrong. They are part of your journey. They are part of your multidimensional experience. So if they come visit you, then they are visiting you for a reason. So love them, hug them. And once you can love them, once you can accept those versions of you that are in fear, then you transmute that fear and they unite within you. And this is how you unite in your oneness state. This is how you remember your oneness state, by accepting those aspects of you. And you heal that part of you that you've pushed away, that you have hidden, that you have deemed as wrong. And by healing these dimensions of you, by loving these dimensions of you, these dimensions will no longer have to visit you in such a way. Yes, you may still experience fear, but it'll be from a different dimension, a different angle, until you can truly love all aspects of you. It takes courage to love these dimensions of you. It's not always easy to love dimensions of you who are that is in fear, because you judge your journey. It's part of the human paradigm and it is okay. So accept where you're at, accept who comes to visit you, for they are for you. They are you. Dear ones. Do you have any questions today, dear ones?
Yes. what is consciousness expansion?
Well, my dear one, consciousness expansion is the expansion of source energy. It is expansion of the source code that creates all life, that creates you, that creates all things, that allows the process of polarity to expand, to allow source to see itself through different forms, through different realities. This is why you are here. By expanding your consciousness, by remembering that you are one, by remembering that you are source manifested, by seeing, by being aware of the nature of your reality, by being aware of your multidimensionality, by being aware that you are much more than a human being, to understand that you are divinely powerful. It is in this remembrance. It is this experiencing physical reality. It is about embracing and taking on these challenges that you are faced with in physical reality and find the love within it, find the oneness within it. And by doing that, you align yourself to your inner being, to your higher self, to who you truly are. And in this realignment, you recalibrate, and this shift creates a ripple effect because you then expand in different dimensions. And then it creates a surge of energy that affects you. It affects all your brothers and sisters. It affects the human collective. It affects all the collectives and all that is. In fact, it expands source itself. It creates worlds, it creates universes. It allows source to see itself in further dynamics, in further aspects. It gets to learn more about itself through you. That's how powerful you are as you start to see the truth of your being and embrace more of it. You're allowing the very source code to expand, the source code to create more, to be more. And that is what you want. You want creation. You want expansion. But my dear ones, you also wanted to enjoy the experience. And some of you may not enjoy some experiences, but understand that you are masters here. Consciousness expansion does not have to be a big dramatic step here. It is about one step at a time. And in fact, just by you being here, by you willing to take on and explore your emotions, because emotions are dimensions of you, just by you willing to go inwards, you are expanding all that is. Just by you existing here, by you living and breathing, by you embracing physical reality, you are fulfilling Source's mission here. By allowing Source to experience itself through you. You are expanding consciousness. You cannot stop the process, my dear one. You can accelerate it. You can move through your journey to remember more of who you are, but you cannot stop consciousness expansion because that is the nature of the universe. The universe expands and so does you, for you are the universe. At times you may feel like it's on pause, that you go backwards, but this is just an illusion. This contraction of the universe is just a polarization to assist you to go the next stage of your evolutionary journey. This polarization does not have to mean fear. It's just attached to fear in the human collective. Do you want? You are consciousness. All that is consciousness. You cannot separate yourself from consciousness. Consciousness shapes itself in physicality. All is energy. So are you, dear one. Do you have any other questions, dear one?
I have a question about the intensity of the emotions that come up when fears come up or limiting beliefs. and how to best deal with it in the moment. Yeah, that's my question.
Well, it depends on the context you're in. When fears come up in the moment, is it related to another? Or is it related to you seeing something that triggers the fear?
Yeah, when a fear is triggered and the intense emotions arise because of it, sometimes I feel that I can't, the emotions are almost make it hard, like really pull me into the moment, and it's hard for me to kind of see outside of myself.
My dear one, when you're triggered in the moment, you have a belief coming to the surface. A paradigm of you that is attached to fear is visiting you. And that's why at these times, the illusion can appear very real, that you can feel like you're a victim, because in fact, you are vibrating in that dimension when you're in fear. So yes, your reality does reflect that, and you feel that. Your reality is colored in with that color. But understand that this is just a dimension. You are multidimensional beings. To be able to best manage when fear is triggered, try to see the belief that is within you. If you have a negative emotion, if you have a triggering effect within you, then you are just being alerted that you are looking at something that is not aligned to who you truly are. That you are looking at something from a dimension that has not loved itself, has not accepted itself. These are clues to you that there is a part of you within you that you are not loving, that you are not accepting. This is for you. You do not have to suffer through it. It's about changing your perspective to the fear. You can be in the moment, acknowledge it, be in the present moment, see it from a point of curiosity. If you can, even, we would say, distance yourself from it. Play the observer here. Pretend you are your higher self. How would your higher self see this event? Imagine yourself, be the observer, be curious why you are feeling the way you're feeling. You may not have the answers in this moment, but understand it is a clue to you in your journey, a clue that there is something within you that you are not loving, a clue that you are judging something within yourself, judging a situation. In that moment, if you cannot in that moment, after some time has passed, sit with that emotion. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. We understand this. But if you can sit with it and be in acceptance of it, you take the sting out of it. You take, because it's the resistance that stings you. It is the resistance that causes you the suffering. If you can sit with it and be in acceptance of it, and to be open to it, knowing it is actually a gift here, that it's going to assist you to expand more of who you are. It's going to assist you to remember more of your oneness divine state. Sit with it. If you are resistant to it, you have, we would say, a blockage in receiving the answers to why you are having this emotion. You then temporarily block yourself off from receiving the message, receiving the insights to the beliefs that is underneath this emotion. If you can open yourself up, let go of the resistance, be loving acceptance of it, you can then go inwards and you can ask yourself, your higher self, your inner being, you can ask this dimension of you, what are you trying to show me? What is it that I'm not loving, that I am judging? Am I judging another? Do I not see that they are me? Am I judging myself? Am I judging another? Am I seeing something as wrong? Do I not see that everything in my reality is a reflection of me and my vibration? Those that trigger me are my master teachers. am I judging them for bringing me this lesson? Can I see them from a point of love? That they are assisting me out of love from a higher perspective to allow me to remember who I am. Go inwards. Ask yourself, what is it that I'm judging, that I'm not loving? It's about practice, but knowing that you are safe to explore it. Bring it into your heart space. Let go of the resistance to it. Be in the present moment. If you can be in the present moment, you allow this process to go more smoothly because you are then not attaching to dimensions of your past or dimensions where you vibrate in a we would say, a perceived limited state. By living in the present moment, by willing to explore in the present moment within your heart center, you align to your most powerful self. And you have all the technologies and the wisdoms in that present moment within your heart center to see the lessons there. And to love it, to love you. Understand that everything is a reflection of you. If someone triggers you, they are mirroring a belief within you. If a condition triggers you, that condition was placed in front of you to be the mirror. This is why you truly are not victims here. It might seem like that in your perspective of 3D reality, but you are beyond this. The collective is beyond this. You are transmuting this paradigm. It's about seeing the lessons here because you are the master teachers and you wanted the lessons, because you wanted expansion. You wanted to remember love. If you cannot see the higher perspective in the moment, just remind yourself that whoever triggers you is love. That the condition is love. That you are love. Remind yourself. Remind yourself how much you love them, how you love yourself. It's about being honest with how you loved yourself. If you cannot love yourself or love another, practice acceptance as a first step. Dear one. Do you feel like you can do this, my dear one? Be in the moment and practice love.
Yes, I feel like maybe it's a practice for me to bring some conscious awareness into the moment.
It takes practice, my dear one, but you are capable of it. It is only when you're not in the present moment where you find it difficult to manage the fear. If you can be in the present moment and see what is actually occurring is a soul test here, because you are ready to vibrate in a higher dimension. Because you are powerful, not because you've done something wrong, it's because you are powerful. You wanted expansion. You wanted to reach another level, so to speak. So it is for you in every way. It's about changing your perspective to when you are triggered in the moment.
Yeah, because I see how my habit has been to see as if there's something wrong with me or the moment when I'm triggered. And so it's I think a new perspective of practice for me to see it differently in the moment.
Well, now you have this awareness. So when it happens, you'll be more easily able to then remember this conversation and remember that there is a higher perspective. But it is okay if you cannot be from a point of perceiving things from a higher perspective in the moment. It takes time, so be gentle on yourself. If you are consumed with fear, it is okay. It is part of your transition to remember who you are. Be gentle on yourself, dear one.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions today, dear ones?
There's some questions from a few who are not here today. From Isabel, she asked, I am conflicted in processing a fear of mine. I have a corporate job and I want to leave this job. I know that I can create my abundance. And this is part of my persona and beliefs that having a job is responsible and getting a steady paycheck. What if I want to leave because I'm not loving my job and it is still a lesson for me? I was on call at work today and felt resistance, but perhaps that was a push for me. Can you help me navigate through this one a bit?
Wonderful. Well, again, all our journeys are different. And along this journey, especially those on this journey of remembering more of who they are, you might deem that certain experiences are wrong. There's been conditions that having a job is wrong. They should only be living in your purpose. But understand that it's about seeing where you're at in loving acceptance. Are you perceiving that having a job is wrong, that you should be doing something else? It is about your perception here. There is nothing wrong with having a job, for it's allowing you to receive the abundance. It's allowing you to undertake certain soul lessons here. If you are still within this role, understand it is for you for a reason. It does not mean you are limited in any way. Understand that it's okay not to have the courage to step forward and let go of situations such as a steady paycheck, to embrace the calling of your heart, the calling of your purpose. But understand you are in this dynamic for a reason. Understand that this belief of having a steady paycheck is all tied to your soul contracts. It's tied to your soul family, for you have a physical family. And because you love your family so much, you feel the need to supply love for the family, to support your family through means of abundance. So how can this not be wrong? This is love. This is an expression of love. So it does not mean that you have to leave a job to embrace more of who you are. It is about changing your perspective in the conditions you are in. Changing your perspective to why you are in the job that you are in. If it triggers you, good. It is showing you a belief in how you are viewing your job, how you are viewing work, how you're viewing your beliefs and your perceptions on what is work and what you should be doing. Understand that everyone's journey is different. And yes, there will come a time where you will feel that this job is no longer needed for you. But understand when that happens, the transition will be known to you. You will know the steps. You will know when it is ready to leave. Until then, it is about letting go of the resistance. It is about embracing your experience, knowing that it is there for you. If you can get to a point where you can love all aspects of your work, where you can see the soul lessons there, you will find that you are no longer required to be in that position because you have learned all that needs to be learned from being in that position, for playing that role. Can't you see how it's always for you? So take out the judgment. Take out the comparison or rate what you should be doing. Yes, my dear one, there is some comparison here because others who know their divine gifts may have stepped more into their role. And perhaps you are judging your own role because you have not fully stepped into the role full time. So you judge yourself and you judge your journey, and then you judge where you're at in your job as wrong. It is perfect. It is all part of your soul contracts. My dear one, let go of the comparison. Let go of the judgment. You are exactly where you are supposed to be until you receive the knowing otherwise. Yes, there might be pressures from different sides about you staying in the job or you leaving your job. It does not matter of these perspectives. What matters is how you perceive your work, how you perceive where you're at, how you perceive how this job is assisting you. Every aspect of your reality is assisting you. The only limitations to your reality is your perspective. No conditions can limit you. It's only a perspective of the conditions that limit you. Can't you see? You can use your work to assist you expand your consciousness. You can use your current workplace to activate more of the power that is within you, to activate more of your oneness state. At times, you may perceive that conditions, aspects of physical reality is not, we would say, spiritual, that one must submerge themselves in spiritual dimensions, exploring topics and dimensions of the metaphysical. And yes, that is part of your journey, but you are also here to explore physical reality. You are also here to explore the illusions, the distortions, the paradigms here. So it's not about disregarding physical reality and just being in the dimensions of metaphysical. It's about uniting the both, seeing each other in both, seeing the metaphysical lessons in a physical job, in what you may perceive to be a mundane job or mundane roles, mundane actions. Can't you see that every aspect of your reality, whether you perceive it as mundane or non-spiritual or not, is spiritual, is a lesson being played here, a soul expansion lesson? Can you see the lessons here? Everything is showing you, everything is allowing you, giving you opportunities to expand, to remember more of who you are. It is about opening your perspectives to everything in your reality. Everything is a playground and everything is here to expand you, to remember more of who you are. So be in loving acceptance of where you are, because you are perfectly aligned to your present moment. And D1, you already know the power within you. You already know what you are capable of. And yes, there may be some impatience to have that expressed within the world. But understand that everything in your reality is for you for a reason, to assist you to remember more of your oneness state. So practice being in the present moment. Be the observer. Be curious when you are triggered in your job. What is it showing you? What are the soul lessons here? Once you play this game, once you can see the spiritual lessons within this job, you will transform this job. And then from there, once you can see all the aspects within and how it relates to you from a point of love, you will then be called to take another step. And this step may be to leave your job, or it might be to continue staying there for a period of time. If you feel the calling to leave, ask yourself honestly, is you wanting to leave the job from a place of fear, from how others might think in, say, spiritual communities or your peers? Or is it you wanting to leave in this moment because you are ready, because you know and you receive this knowing that you're ready to leave from a place of love? So this wanting to leave can come from a dimension of fear or come from a dimension of love. So that is up to you to figure out. Once you receive the knowing that you have explored all you need to explore, that you have taken the soul lessons here, and that you feel and you have the calling out of love to move on, then you will know it is for you. You will have no doubts. Yes, there may be some fear in how you are going to provide this steady paycheck, but understand when it is the right time, in divine time, there'll be new opportunities supporting you. And it's also about opening your perspectives on how abundance flows to you. You may perceive that abundance can only flow to you from a certain role, from a certain avenue, from a job. But understand that abundance comes to you in many different ways and many different sources. So it's about opening your perspective on how abundance will flow to you. You are the magic of the universe, my dear one. Remind yourself of who you are, that everything in your reality is for you in every way. You'll be guided every step of the way. It is about reminding yourself that all is happening for you out of love. Dear one.
Great, thank you. There's one more question, and this one is from Lauren. She asks, does being a part of a collective mean that I can only jump timelines if the rest of my family, friends, and the collective are ready and willing to jump also to the same specific timeline I'm moving to? Or when we jump timelines as individuals, do we then suddenly live amongst different versions of our family and friends, while the other versions of them that didn't jump stay on that other timeline until they are one day ready to shift elsewhere?
Well, dear one, understand that all dimensions are within you. All dimensions are invisible. Understand that you are always jumping through dimensions, and so is your family. You are never stagnant here. Time is non-linear. Time is an illusion. With every thought, with every belief that you transmute into love, with every perspective that reflects that of love, you then jump to another dimension. You attract that dimension into your physical reality. You are always jumping. And understand that if they're in your reality, they are a vibrational match for you. Even if consciously they may not see who they truly are, understand they are playing a role for you. You can have people in your life that appear to be very, you would say, asleep, not awakened. But understand in high truth, if they are in your reality, they are very much awake. They are very much enlightened. They are just playing the role for you to assist you. And yes, when you expand your consciousness in dimensions, so to speak, those around you will reflect this dimension. So in a way, you can perceive it as they're jumping with you. If they're still in your life, my dear one, you affect all those around you by your vibration. You do not even have to say a word, just by you seeing the love in all beings, by you being able to embrace your shadows, being able to see higher perspective, by being in a place where you can be triggered by fear and still see the love. Just by your perception change, by you not even have to say the word, you then vibrate in high dimensions in your present now, in this reality. And then they, your family members, honors this dimensional shift for you because they are already enlightened and they reflect this new dimension you are now residing in. So yes, they will change because you have changed. Not because you've done anything to them, but because they are reflecting your new vibration, the new dimension you are residing in. So, my dear one, understand that your physical family is also your soul family, and they are here playing the roles for you to assist you to remember more of who you are. You can practice this. You will notice the shift within them. If you are exploring higher dimensions of love and acceptance, if you are feeling joy and happiness, you'll be able to see the shift of those around you because they are now reflecting that vibration. And then if you are in fear, in victim mentality, you will see them reflect that also. You will see them reflect that belief within you. They are always your mirrors, my dear one. They are mirrors to you. So you do not have to attach to how you jump and how you explore your multidimensionality. Just understand that they will always be there assisting you. That they're in your life for a reason. They are part of your soul family for a reason. You chose to experience life creatively together. You are all highly enlightened at different levels of remembering your enlightened state. But understand they are just as enlightened as you. They are just playing the role of not remembering fully who they are for you. If you can play the observer here, you can see this in action. You can see the shifts. And this is why you do not have to change. This is why you do not have to change others, because they will reflect your new vibration. Everything is a mirror to you and dimension you are residing in the present. But it's about being aware in the present moment of your emotions, because your emotions are dimensions. And your emotions allows you to experience life in a certain dimension. And just imagine that in each dimension you reside in, you are then coloring this dimension in a certain color. So all others in this dimension, including your family, is also tinged with this color, so to speak, because they are now in this dimension with you. They are reflecting this dimension because you are always connected. And if they are no longer a match to you, then you'll find that they are not in your reality. But understand they'll always be a match to you in some way because they're part of your soul family here. Can you see them as your master teachers when you are triggered? Can you see the mirrors being played out in your reality? Come from a point of curiosity. Know that you are always expanding. Know that you are always traveling through dimensions. You are multidimensional beings. So embrace who you are. Even though your family members may not see who they are assisting you every step of the way. So you do not have to worry about them joining you. They will always reflect your dimension. They will always reflect your vibration. They will always be with you in some way, dear one.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions before we finish here today? Dear ones, understand that you are truly divine in every single way, that you are truly powerful in every single way, that you are truly limitlessness. You are the power of the universe. You are multidimensional, and you that exists in their remembered state already exists. And that version of you is assisting you in this moment. You are attracting these versions of you in your present moment. When you start to see more of the higher perspective, when you start to see the truth that you are one, that you are love. But understand that exploring dimensions of fear is also not wrong. For these experiences are necessary for your expansion. It is not to say attached to them, but when they visit you, to acknowledge it, that they are just visitors, that they are here because you have not loved them, because you have rejected this part of you. And it's time now in the Great Awakening to truly love all aspects of you, to truly love all dimensions of you. Can you do that? Can you open your heart to loving yourself unconditionally? Once you can do that, you will find you reflect a reality that mirrors this love. This is how you create your reality. This is how you jump through dimensions. This is how you shift the collective. This is how you activate your psychic abilities, your divine abilities, because they're already within you. All your enlightened states, all the versions of you that live in this world and other worlds, all the skills, all the abilities, all the wisdom is there available to you. It will be activated within you and expanded upon in this reality uniquely because of your current vibration. And it will be activated when you are ready. Remind yourself that you are love. Remind yourself that you are powerful. Dear ones, just by you being here is a reflection of you being a master teacher, whether you can acknowledge this or not. The fact you have put yourself in these dimensions of amnesia, the fact you have put yourself knowingly into these challenges shows you that you are ready to explore these master levels. It's a master game here of expansion that you chose because you wanted to remember who you are. That is love, that is source, that is oneness, with not only within yourself, the dimensions of you, but also oneness with all dimensions of all other beings, because all other beings are you, dear one. It is with love that we come through today. Remember that I am you. You are me. We are one. Until next time, farewell.
Bye.